2, 1, 0.
Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole podcast. I am your host, CSD Fantasy. Matt.
Yes.
Hello, Fantasy Faithfuls, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole podcast. My name is CSD Fantasy, and I'm flanked by the one and only Nick Fainberg and man of the people, Matt Williams. And Mr. Stark is back. Everyday FFB. Welcome to the show, everybody.
What's up? Thank you for having me on again.
Yo. Glad to be here.
You doing Matt?
You ever notice when people chew gum, they kind of look like assholes? So I'm going to stop.
No, I thought that was like you were like cornering that bad boy of the podcast. Every podcast needs like a bad boy.
Oh,
and
you know
you were like, this is mine now. This is my role.
See, I'm chewing gum because when you take it out and you drink water, it's like super cold. You know what I'm talking about? So
yeah,
not that it actually is. Your body thinks it is chemical, but whatever. Let's talk science. Who wants to talk science?
Obviously, minty gum.
Bill, not a science guy over here.
What is minty gum? Like mint taste?
Yeah, I guess I figure because fruity gum. If you have like fruity gum, if you drink water, doesn't have any effect. But it's minty gum, it's always the gum that makes the water. Am I like no?
No, it is. I just find it funny.
Me.
She's grilling you about it. I was just letting it go on.
I just really wanted you to see how you got out of that one.
I was looking at Nick, and Nick was kind of giving me a face. And I was like, "Am I crazy?"
Nick's like,
No,
I'm not entering this conversation.
You're right. I was looking beyond you. I wasn't looking at you. My wife was right up behind my screen, so let's see what she was doing.
Sure. No, but we do have a fantastic episode here for y'all. It's gonna be a little different. It's the Fantasy Rabbit Hole NFL Game Show episode. Tonight, I will ask questions, and the other talking heads will be rewarded points based on their answers and their attacks of the other guys' answers. You get 1 point for a quality answer. You get 1 point for a funny answer. And destroying somebody else's answer is 2 points. You can also get a point for a brave answer. For instance, and if you pick what I call a minefield player, you get -5 points. And the contestant won't know who these minefield players are. But
is this like a whammy on Pressure Luck? You ever watch that?
Yeah. So whammy.
Is that like
no whammy? We all
They have
get
this thing where the cursor's going around the board like do, and it could land on money or a prize, or this little red guy where if it lands on him, he takes all your cash and your turn's over. So people are like, all right, big spin, no whammy, stop.
Yeah, but it's almost
Google
exactly like that. It's almost exactly like that. That's
all
what
right.
I'm. That's
so I'm
what
going to rack
aiming
up all
for.
these points, and you're going to rig it and take it from me. I see. It's politics.
It's not rigged though.
Politics.
I had to hide our show notes so you didn't know which players like you couldn't pick. But I will say some of them you probably already have figured out based on my preferences of fantasy football players. If you are listening to the show, you might even figure out, and you can put in the chat who you think some of these minefield players are that will give negative points. And for Everyday FFB, it will be a little bit more difficult if you haven't kept up with the show since you were on last. I know you do like 17 other podcasts that I would love for you to plug before we get on with the first question of the day.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys can find me and Nick actually on the Lions Brawl. We do that every Tuesday. And then also I'm on the Fantasy Brawl account. You guys could find our podcast on the Fantasy Brawl. It's just Fantasy Brawl. And then we have a super awesome episode you might want to tune in for. We're having Jason Moore, the Fantasy Footballers, on tomorrow. And that episode should be aired Friday, maybe late Thursday, but no later than Friday. So that'll be a fun one. Check me out on Twitter as well, Everyday FFB. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Oh, that's fantastic! Congratulations on a big guest.
Yeah,
Jason Moore, he's awesome, dude.
I'm stoked, man. Yeah, I'm stoked. I shot my shot, DM'd him, and he replied, and he's like, does 3 p.m. or 3 p.m. my time work? And I'm like, yep, that's fine. So
It's almost as big as having you on this show.
yeah, thank you.
Almost as big.
Appreciate it, man.
And like Adam said, real quick, if you haven't checked out the Lions Brawl, you should go do that because that podcast is booming. We've been doing it for 3 months now.
Oh yeah.
3 months, and it is just expanding. We got a lot of good episodes. Our last episode was just about the first 3 rounds of the Lions draft. So, if you like the Lions, and I know y'all do, make sure you go check it out.
Everybody loves the Lions.
I don't like the Lions at all. I just listen to the show to hear you guys. I just try to forget what team you're talking about.
Did y'all see that Matthew Stafford was trending on Twitter today?
No, was it?
No.
He was just trending because people were.
Was it because his name's John?
No. He was trending because people were reminiscing about Calvin Johnson. So remember when Stafford just threw it up to Calvin Johnson all the time, and it was awesome. Like, yes.
Now he just throws up.
Yeah.
I like the old days where they just had super tall guys there, like Herman Moore. Remember Herman Moore? He was fun. He was like Calvin Johnson without like as much talent, but he's just this giant guy, and I love that dude.
He hosts the Lions pregame show on Fox.
Does he?
I keep lagging. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm like lagging and freezing. God damn. But Herman Moore is the man. What's
on your shirt? Is that what are they? Lobsters? What is that?
Pizza Planet.
Oh, that's Pizza Planet? Oh, that's awesome.
Toy Story represent, boys.
I said lobsters. I don't know. I thought it could be a leisure shirt.
Then
I gotta look good.
Would be like the Packers would be Woody and the Lions would be Buzz Lightyear, and then you have that scene where it's like, look over there, there's your Lombardi Trophy Lions, and he's like, oh, where? And then it's like,
and you knock me out of a window. Oh my God.
Yeah,
you're delusional. You think you're a real football team, and then you find out you're just a toy.
Ooh.
I didn't bring up this line. This was. I am just riding the wave.
My apologies. And
anyway,
so we're making fun of anyone. We're making fun of the Bears.
Exactly.
The who?
The
Mitch
Bears.
Trubisky's team?
No, Nick Foles.
Yeah. Nick Trubisky, for one more year, it's his team.
Mitch Trubisky won't be starting by week 5.
Watch the Patriots have like the number 3 pick, somehow pass on Trevor Lawrence, sign Mitch Trubisky, and just like turn him into a stud.
And I hope they get 3rd pick. I hope they end up getting Justin Fields. That would be sweet.
Oh, I hate
the Lions get Justin Fields.
Is Cam Newton going to become a Patriot or no? Is it literally?
I don't think so. I heard Josh McDaniels hates him too. So I think the whole organization hates him. But if they go 0-3 and Bill Belichick's like, damn it, I need a quarterback that can throw a ball, and Jared Stidham is just like throwing ducks, I could see it happening. But
what did Andy Dalton make? Like $3 million?
3. He can reach 7 with the Cowboys based on incentives. But he's
just saying if they passed on $3 million for Andy Dalton. And I don't know. Maybe they weren't interested at all, or I don't know what they offered him. But if they weren't in on that, I don't think they're going after Cam.
I really think Cam's banking on an injury. I think he's really hoping someone gets hurt or something like within the first couple weeks, and he could just step in.
He's not going to sign until the season starts, like until a couple weeks into the season, for sure. And then you'll see a big injury to someone who, catastrophic for a team. The Lions, Matt Stafford, maybe something like that. And then all of a sudden. Well, I mean, he's been injured for 2 years in a row. It's pretty likely.
The only thing is, like, how much more money is a team going to have then than they do now? They're going to have less, probably, because most teams try to plug that up.
Yeah, but you will only sign a 1-year contract to gamble on yourself to get a starting role for, like, a bigger contract for next year. And I think Andy Dalton, he's given them a hometown discount in Dallas. He already owns a house in the Fort Worth area, and I think he is banking on, like moving home, sort of. Like, don't have to focus too much, do too much. Oh, it's a $3 million. Don't have to do too much. I'm not that good. Just
What's home?
Give me the money.
Where's Cam Newton's home?
Atlanta.
Is it Atlanta? Is he from the Georgia area?
Sort of a trader by going to Auburn.
I knew he wasn't from, but so yeah. Matt Ryan. What if Matt Ryan gets injured? Cam Newton would be a perfect replacement.
Oh, yes.
That would be Cam Newton, Julio Jones. Oh,
That
That
would
would
be
be
crazy.
hilarious.
I mean, we all know that Cam Newton's going to Washington, right?
But then they got Kyle Allen.
Yeah,
I
they
know.
do,
That's
don't
so
they?
weird.
That would be
Yeah.
that would be weird and awkward, right?
Yeah, it would.
That would be this is what happens though. Obviously, their starter Dwayne Haskins sucks. Kyle Allen gets injured. He got nowhere to go. Does he bite the bullet and sign Cam? It would be so good. It'll be good TV. Let's see if they do it.
Yeah.
Let's see if they
I
do
think
it.
they're underselling Dwayne Haskins. I think.
No,
I think
well,
he-
no. I'm underselling him for a narrative that I'm creating out of
Oh,
thin air.
okay. Oh, that was
Yeah.
just the
That's
idea.
actually-
He needs to suck in order for this to happen.
That's
Right.
the perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
That's the perfect setup for our next segment, though, with the game show. You're creating a narrative, and that's what this all is about: is creating a narrative about a player that you can live with, while the other players might not be able to. My first question of the NFL game show, fantasy game show, is, and I'm going to start with our guest, Mr. Stark.
We're not going to
What-
slam imaginary buzzers for this. This is bullshit.
No.
What kind of intro was that? Where it's like you're like, and welcome to, you gotta get some kind of who wants to watch a game
Explode
show?
their Nick.
I thought you were going to go through the whole thing. You were heading somewhere good.
I could have, but I figured someone else would take over. But.
Nick Faber, come on down.
You had the perfect face for coming down. You're
Yeah, you got a high five and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give the first question to our guest. Everybody's gonna answer the question, so you're gonna get an opportunity. What rookie wide receiver will finish the season with the highest score in PPR?
I'm going to lean a little bit towards Jalen Reagor, but the guy who I did have in mind was Justin Jefferson. I think they're both going to make quick starts. I think both teams really needed like a second receiver or another receiver to kind of step in. Reagor is kind of going to take this Deshaun Jackson role, and I think Wentz has always liked his deep threats. Deshaun Jackson's a million years old. Alshon Jeffrey is just made of glass, and I think Reagor can really step it up. He's a guy who gets the ball in his hands, and he just makes a play. So I think he could just make a lot of plays when he gets to the NFL. I wouldn't expect it right off the bat, but I could see, week 4, 5, 6, he's really getting into the thick of things.
Jalen Reagor as your pick. Anybody want to come in and tell me why that's a terrible pick for this? Otherwise, I will.
That's what I like to hear. Crickets.
I will go ahead and definitely deliver 1 point for a quality answer. And nobody tried to destroy you here on the first one, so nobody gets a destroy point. Brave answer. I will give you a brave answer as well, because you picked an Eagles player when the host and the point awarder is sitting with a Cowboys hat on. It was a very brave answer to start off the show, I think. So it's definitely 2 points to FFB to start it off, and that's impressive.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Matt, who will be your pick for rookie wide receiver to finish the season highest in PPR?
I'm going to go off the deep path here, and I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy, the obvious choice. I don't know if he actually is the obvious choice. There'd be people pick. I thought Jalen Reagor was a good answer. I like Jerry Jeudy because it looks like maybe a bit of a crowded room with everyone they have there, but I think Hamler's not going to be that big of a deal. I think that Deshaun Hamilton's like just buried. If you have, just throw him in the trash, he's gone, unfortunately for him. But I think they're kind of a low key, like Julio Ridley thing going on there. I think that they obviously have a strong backfield like they normally do. They really believe in Drew Lock. Who's the freaking man. So yeah, I think he can catch like 80 plus passes right out of the gate, or 80 plus targets at least. So I like Jeudy, and in PPR, I think he's going to just soak up those targets, because a lot of the other guys are really iffy. I don't want to burn any other names because I don't know who Nick's going to take, but obviously like CeeDee Lamb, crowded room. You mentioned Justin Jefferson. We don't really know what the heck's going to go on. We saw how it worked out with Stephon Diggs. So Jeudy just seems the most safe. He's the best wide receiver, in my opinion, in the entire draft going in, even though I like Lamb as well. But for PPR, it kind of is tailor-made for a guy like Jeudy to just soak up all those passes out of the slot. I like Jeudy.
How do you feel about Drew Lock throwing to Jeudy then?
I think that I believe in him. I mean, it's a short sample size and people that are really, really banking on him in Denver. So I don't want to, it'd be a better story for him to be good than not. I think that it's a safe option for him. Like they obviously have a couple of tight ends there as well. So they obviously, I guess, have a plan with their backfields to kind of work the short field while letting, Sutton kind of do his thing. So yeah, I think that it's a very safe option for the young quarterback, which I'm glad Judy made it there. I know there was a lot of mock drafts that had Ruggs, which would have been fine too. But yeah, I think Judy for a young quarterback is a perfect spot for him to land there.
I think that's a quality answer, but it's too safe for a brave point, and it's not too funny because it is, like you said, probably the best wide route runner in the rookie class. So I will give you 1 point for that. Anybody want to destroy that? I feel like it's not much to nitpick here outside of the quarterback, but Nick almost has a little smile on his face.
No. I was going to say was Drew Lock's 7 touchdowns in 4 games. Like, I understand he didn't have Jerry Jeudy. He's got a whole nother year, but we're not having the same kind of offseason. So it's not like these guys who only got to play a couple games are building all this chemistry throughout this entire offseason. They're, in fact, not seeing anyone, barely getting meetings, only doing – so it's just –
if you look at Instagram, I mean, didn't Matthew Stafford meet up with Swift and what the hell is it? What did you draft? Cephas? He actually held a private workout with them already. So these guys are seeing each other. They're seeing each other.
Hopefully they are. Hopefully you're right. The only thing about it is Cortland Sutton is set to emerge. Drew Lock. I mean, who knows? Who really, really knows? But yeah, if you believe Jerry Jeudy is probably the best wide receiver for sure.
I will say I have one small concern. That's his only concern. That's his knees. And I believe they drafted KJ Hamler for a reason, 3rd round guy. And I think that is a bit of a concern. So if he does have any type of, small knee injury, meniscus cleanup, something, I think they're going to want to play it safe with him being a rookie. And I wouldn't be surprised if they erred on the side of caution. He had just one of those random surgeries in which he just had a knee scope or whatever and just was out a couple weeks. So that'd be my
could be. I just assume if the deal with Melvin Gordon tells me they're not in the mood to play it safe at any point, even with young rookies. I think the foot's on the gas. There.
Yeah, and I do think it's good efforts to destroy Matt's pick, but I think he defends it so well with that Melvin Gordon take. Because just by getting
rejected, Mutombo.
By having Melvin Gordon come into the team, you wouldn't pay him if you're like, yeah, we don't really care about this here. You would never pay him then when you have Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay. There's no use in getting a high-level running back. So I think Matt's point is fantastic to defend that.
I should get a point. That's like when someone tries to get you in dodgeball. I just caught that shit.
I'm changing the rules. Point to Matt.
Ooh.
For that defense.
Another point for lobbying a rule into the game. Another point for Matt.
Defense points is a new thing, just included in the game show here. It's not every day you see contestants changing the rules, but I guess we do have the catch rule. We do have the tuck rule. So it's not completely just out of the blue of a player being so good that you have to change the rules for him. Nick Faber, who is your rookie wide receiver to finish highest in PPR for next year?
I'll preface this by saying I don't have a ton of confidence in any of these rookie wide receivers to be like fantasy football gold.
No.
You're going to say you didn't have a lot of confidence in your answer, and that's how you're opening it up.
I do have confidence in my answer, and I have two people who have yet to be named that are going. The only 2 rookie wide receivers to catch 1,000 yards this year will be Henry Ruggs and Denzel Mims. But that's not the question. The question at hand is who is going to be the top PPR. And with the news of Quincy Enunwa going down, another wide receiver for the Jets going down already for the year, you lose Robbie Anderson. If you truly think Jamison Crowder can get 28 receptions a game, 28 targets a game, then Denzel Mims will probably be irrelevant to you. But if you understand football and understand that Jamison Crowder will only only get 8 targets to 9 targets on average, there will be a plethora of other targets to go around. There isn't anyone in New York. There is no one. Henry Ruggs is probably the best option because he has the best fit. There aren't a lot of people in Las Vegas either, but there is Darren Waller and Tyrell Williams. So respectfully, he's at least 3rd. Denzel Mims is behind Le'Veon Bell, a running back, and Jamison Crowder, who has never done anything except for a 3-game stretch last year. So I love Denzel Mims this year. He is extremely underappreciated. He fell to the second round, should have been a first rounder, showed himself at the Senior Bowl. He's a little bit older. He's got experience. He knows he has the NFL smarts to get around. He's going to be a talent. Sam Darnold is being underappreciated every step of the way, and that is all right. Unless he catches mono again this year, he's going to be fine. He is going to be – Jesus, don't do that. Don't threaten me with a good time. So I truly think that Denzel Mims is the number one answer, and it's being highly untalked about.
And first, before I toss it over for Destroy, I will give a point instantly for brave answer. It's such a brave answer, and it's an answer that I love because we talked about him on the previous show that I have had him as one of my top 3 best wide receiver picks. So I love this answer, and that's a point definitely, and a quality point because I think that you make a good case to why he will get a lot of targets as well and receptions. Anybody have any problems with this?
I don't get a funny one for that after making you give me like funny? A mono lip.
Yeah. What?
How is that funny at all?
That's hilarious, bro.
No, funny. I'm looking more for you going like an undrafted free agent and making the case for that. That's more of the funny one, or saying like Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the.
Everyone else gave answers that was just, hey, this is what my answer is. I'm a robot. This is what's gonna happen. I had everyone laughing at one point. Come on.
Game changer, point to Nick.
Because he decided to catch an imaginary ball.
Nick gets the whiny bitch award for a point.
I guess the key is be enthusiastic and make up rules and you win this game.
I guess so. Man, your ways, bro.
Nick just took the lead with 3 points.
How about negative 3 points? Because his point of why Mims would be good is actually the exact point. I don't even need to do it. Let's just run back the transcript. There's no one else there. That's why he's not going to be good, because the defense knows that too. Only one wide receiver can survive triple coverage. Is his name Devontae Adams. Denzel Mims may be tall, but he's not tall enough to have 3 cornerbacks and a safety on him. The Jets got nothing, and he's it. Sam Darnold's going to have a hell of a time finding unless he's got homing missiles. Unless he's got homing missiles, I don't think he can go there.
No, they're going to absolutely have to be putting one of those triple coverage guys you speak of on Le'Veon Bell or Jamison Crowder running through. Like, you're not going to have a cornerback on Jamison Crowder, or you're going to be playing that nickel. And still at that point, you're going to put more eyes on him running down, having that linebacker. You might see double coverage. Denzel Mims might for sure.
Yeah, but this is assuming Le'Veon Bell isn't in jail for murdering Adam Gase. And that's, 50-50.
Fun answer. Point to Matt.
I'm assuming that's not going to happen.
I'm quite literally don't care. I'm just racking up points here. That's all I'm doing. I'm just points.
Points, baby. The points.
I'm just Mario. I just am standing underneath the thing. Ching, ching, ching. That's all I want.
Well, what about the fact that Denzel Mims plays in one of, if not the hardest division with top-tiered cornerbacks in Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, and Tre'Davious White? Or you could go Byron Jones. So
okay,
I think
not to mention the Dolphins have like what now? They have the two best highest paid corners in the league, and then they drafted 2 more. It's insanity. What are they doing?
I don't know. We'll see. I wonder how Miami is. What if Miami goes with New England? Like, I mean, and Buffalo, everyone loves Buffalo, but Josh Allen puts himself into some bad situations sometimes. It's only a point in time before he's out and they're running back Jake Fromm back there. So I have a feeling that it could be Miami's year this year, 10-6, 11-5. If Tua comes out balling, and then everyone in Detroit's going to be pissed as shit if we go 6-10. And Tua takes Miami to 10-6. I guarantee everyone's gonna be like, well, I told you we should have drafted Tua. What were we thinking? Be like, yeah.
You called that already. So.
Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully Stafford takes us to the promised land. But I'm just saying.
But I'm gonna award 1 point to Everyday FFB for that takedown with the perfect point of cornerbacks as well. And that concludes the first question. And the standings are, you will not believe this, but it's 3-3-3. And the minefield player we was looking for in rookie wide receiver who will finish the season with the highest points in PPR was CeeDee Lamb. If you would have picked him, that would have been -5 points. That was too obvious of an answer to please the Cowboy gods giving the points.
I was gonna say, I don't know about CeeDee
Not this year.
I think there's a question coming up that he more fits than best.
Yes.
That one question took 15 minutes. I don't know how I think we had like 15 questions set up. So
It will work out. It will work out. Let's snake it around and do for Nick Faber. What rookie running back will finish the season highest in PPR?
I mean, I've been on the Clyde Edwards-Helaire train ever since the season got going. I think the fit is perfect. It's where I mocked him in January. It's where I wanted him to go. I was very happy to see him go there. We talked about this on the last episode. I'm high on him. I'm not really high on any other rookie running back. I think Jonathan Taylor is not just going to take over for Marlon Mack and leave him in the dust. I also think the same thing with DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson. I think it'll be more of a committee. I think J.K. Dobbins has a very good opportunity, but with Mark Ingram there, he ain't going to be doing much. You need Ingram out of the way. So this question is solely based on who gets injured. Who's going to get injured in front of all these pairings, who's going to get injured, including Damien Williams, if you want, in CEH. But just out of everyone here, it seems to be like the bettor's bet would be that Clyde Edwards-Helaire has the best opportunity to see a lot more touches than anyone else, and pair that with him being in the most explosive offense in maybe the NFL. It's a very safe answer. It's probably the minefield. Everyone will be like, -5. This is ridiculous. But it's just the opportune answer. I don't recommend reaching for him. I think I saw someone draft him like 4th overall already in a mock or something. And I was like, that's extreme, but I do like him.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. And like you said, it is a very safe answer. It's a good one. I think you make some good points. And since I've said that I think he's going to be the highest scoring running back, I will give you a point for a quality answer. Anybody have a huge problem with Helaire being number one? Matt looking a little.
I will say, even though Mahomes said that was his boy, Mahomes wanted Clyde Edwards-Helaire as his pick, Damien Williams was nearly the Super Bowl MVP, and Damien Williams kind of balled out this playoff stretch. So I think, that didn't go unnoticed. And if he really does start to play well, I don't think he's going to lose carries if he's playing good. I think they'll just continue to split and have Edwards-Helaire will get worked in slowly. But I think if Williams is just playing very good or, like he did in the playoffs, then I think that could slow the big start of Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I had that exact same thought process last year. And then Damien Williams finished running back 58.
Well, he got injured a million times.
He was injured before the season.
He was. You're right. And that's why I even added Damien Williams. All these running backs, including Cam Akers with Darrell Henry, I don't know what you guys are talking. I did just list all of them off, but all these running backs are in committees. I'm not this is a bell cow. Again, I'm not excited about drafting these rookies in a redraft fantasy league right now.
Yeah.
But
no, it's a weaker rookie running back class, and the position is just so filled right now in the NFL that it's difficult to say too much about it.
I actually like the running backs. I actually like most of them.
So who would be your number one pick to finish top of them in PPR? Because it's not like, when we had Gurley coming in, Gordon coming in, Fournette coming in, Saquon, Zeke, all of them was they're going to be the number one workhorse. Let's go.
Although I got to say that it's even since, Saquon is still in that position to be a bell cow. Since then, it's just, especially with the holdouts, have kind of taken a whole new turn, especially with Melvin Gordon, where, how many, there's not going to be, I think we did in a previous show, there's just not going to be many bell cows. Zeke is one of the last guys. Fournette kind of, there's not many. My guy is Jonathan Taylor. I think Nick's exact words were, he's never going to take over for Marlon Mack and leave him in the dust. I think it's exactly.
Never. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think it's exactly what's going to happen. I think Damien Williams did show off, and I could see them splitting time. Marlon Mack's in the last year of his contract. I don't think that means they're going to run him into the ground. I think that means that Jonathan Taylor is going to take over. He is the future there. I think he was the best running back coming into the draft, and he gets drafted to one of the best offensive lines in football. He's going to not maybe catch as many passes he'll probably split time there with Nyheim Hines, except people want to ding Jonathan Taylor for not catching passes, but he had it over 10% market share in his last year, which is pretty good. That is still decent. So I think he has the ability to do it. Nyheim Hines has not lived up to expectations. Honestly, his best role on the team has been as a returner. So just I think Jonathan Taylor, like his best comp is Ezekiel Elliott. So I think that if anyone in this entire draft can be a bell cow, it's him. And with Marlon Mack leaving next year, and Nyheim Hines not being much of a factor, I could see Jonathan Taylor just showing off, becoming a bell cow this year, running away behind that offensive line. He's just amazing. I do like Hilaire, but I think Taylor was my number one running back, and he landed in a fantastic spot, in my opinion, the way it lines up logistically. So I love Taylor.
Great answer. I think you make a lot of good points. I agree with most of them. I have Hilaire just a little bit above Jonathan Taylor. We talked about that. I feel like even you make the point about Hines taking some of the receptions as well. I don't agree with the Mac take. I do think they're going to try to not run him into the ground, but I don't think he's going to be underutilized. So I feel like Jonathan Taylor is going to be good, but next year is when I really want him, like really, really want him. Even in a redraft. In Dynasty, I'm going to try to pick him up for this year.
Makes sense. I mean, also, Mac has an ability to not get devastatedly hurt, but he always gets dinged. There's going to be an opportunity for Taylor to be the guy, and I think he's more than talented enough to be like, okay, who the hell is Marlon Mack? Because we're never putting him on the field again because Jonathan Taylor's that good, and he can be every down. So I just, again, you kind of split hairs at the top there. There's a couple of really good options, and with the other guys have a more serious problem with log jams, at least in year one. So I like Hilaire and Taylor, but I mean, I think that Taylor's talented enough where if he gets a little bit of daylight, he can run through it.
Do you have your pick every day?
Yeah, if we're going PPR, I got to go with J.K. Dobbins as much as I hate the Ohio State guy. I think the Ravens and Lamar Jackson showed big confidence in him. They were surprised that he fell. They said he was a guy that they just absolutely had to take. Weren't expecting him there. And I don't think he'll be an impact player right off the bat. But we could really see it happen down the stretch of the last, 8 games because Mark Ingram can be cut next year for, I think, only $1.5 million roughly in dead cap. So they could move on real quick, kind of just make J.K. Dobbins that, 1A player and Mark Ingram that kind of bruiser in the backfield. But I think Dobbins, he's a good pass catcher. And in PPR, I think they're going to try to set up little screen passes and get tricky with him. So I think he'll be able to make his bread and butter just by the Ravens being such a good offense in Lamar Jackson, just creating plays.
And to add on real quick to what he was saying, like we already saw Mark Ingram could be a top 10 running back in a dual threat running. Well, while him and Kamara both finished top 10 2 years ago, like Ingram and Dobbins could both be top 10 running backs this year in that Baltimore offense. That's a great prediction.
To play devil's advocate on that is it's not a two-headed running team if you have Dobbins.
Four-headed.
Yeah. It's too many mouths to feed for me.
Not to mention the main head is going to be taking all of the touchdowns.
Yeah, Mark Ingram, the reason he was so good is he gets the touchdowns. You don't need to rack up 150 yards because he's going to get 2 touchdowns every other game, and you're going to be happy with that and 90 yards. He doesn't need more than that. I think it is so many mouths to feed, and they're so creative with just play calling that it's difficult to just have one guy to catch a lot of passes. I think he's a fantastic running back, and he's going to be good for them in football. But I have a hard time seeing he's going to be that fantastic in a PPR situation.
Year one.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I mean, if I'm in Dynasty, you're saying you're really excited about Taylor next year. Man, I'm excited about Dobbins next year. I can't wait in Dynasty where everyone gets frustrated. You're not going to be able to snake Jonathan Taylor away, even if he's in a timeshare. People know him too much. But Dobbins, if he's in a 4-man committee and he's like really looking semi-buried, go out and get him because next year he's going to be in a position to dominate. So yeah, I do love Dobbins.
Are we talking about like Lamar Jackson, Ingram, Dobbins, and like Justice Hill? Or are you guys trying to throw Gus Edwards in there?
No, Gus Edwards, he's still there.
Edwards is not going to be on that team after.
I mean, he's a running back that they use, and they're going to use him. Whether that's his piece of the pie may be like the donated to charity slice. But I don't know if anyone's actually familiar with that joke. He's still going to be annoying.
He had 700 yards last year. I mean,
that because they didn't have J.K. Dobbins. That will be J.K. Dobbins right there.
Well, I know, but until they cut him, they're going to.
J.K. Dobbins is going to be bringing. I'm sorry, Gus Edwards will be bringing J.K. Dobbins paperwork to
It's
them.
the Ravens. It wouldn't shock me if they had all 4 of them in the backfield at the same time. It's the freaking
like
Ravens.
that's what I have an issue with.
Boy, that's absolutely true.
And if you still have Gus Edwards, he gets 150, 200 yards. That's 150, 200 that could have gone to J.K. Dobbins. And I think that's my problem.
Every team has a running back that's going to get 200.
Yeah, but it's just they have too many of them.
I don't know. I disagree.
You can get a point
Send
here,
the
though.
Packers, we don't have enough running backs yet.
Changing the rules here just a little bit. If you can guess who the minefield player is, you'll get an extra point. Nick.
Cam Akers.
No, it's DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, but point to Matt.
Oh,
of course, it's DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everyone. I don't know.
He is the minefield player.
Bad. If he stays healthy, Kerryon Johnson is an elite running back in this league. Watch film on this kid.
He won't stay healthy though.
Yeah,
some little thing.
Well, no, but if they're in a timeshare, though, he may stay healthy because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's 2 years left on Kerryon too, so they want to, keep him healthy. Maybe if nothing else, to trade him. I don't know, but he's good.
True.
He's really good.
I'm surprised Cam Akers didn't get brought up in this. Like Darrell Henderson showed nothing to prove that he was worth a starting position on the Rams.
But they spent up for Darrell Henderson, though.
Yeah,
I saw that tweet. Calm down, boys. Last year, Sony Michel was a first-round pick. That don't mean that Rex Burkhead isn't going to get the Lions.
That's the Patriots, though. I mean,
I don't know.
And Malcolm Brown's still there.
Yeah, but he's 27 years old. He's pretty much dust at this point.
And
this is a great opportunity.
That Todd Gurley broke more tackles last year on his terrible year compared to the year he was fantastic. Their offensive line is just bad now.
But that's the big thing. Their offensive line is terrible.
It's just so bad. No, but the reason I picked DeAndre Swift as the minefield player, Kerryon Johnson is still one of the best backs to have in front of you, quality-wise, when it comes to, I think he's a better running back than Marlon Mack. He's a better running back than Damien Williams. When he's healthy, that's all I base that on. And it's fun to pick. It would have be fun if Nick would have picked a Detroit running back.
Well, plus look who the coach of Detroit is. Look where he came from. I mean, you're annoyed as an Aaron Jones owner what they're doing with someone so much worse than Williams. You got Swift and Johnson, a guy who wants to use multiple running backs, has 2 really good ones. Of course, he's going to try to use them both.
Yeah, I think he'll use them both. I'm not saying like Kerryon's going to keep Swift off the field. I'm just saying that's why I don't think Swift will be the main running back.
Yeah, but I'm freaking excited though. If I'm a Detroit fan, that's a freaking backfield you guys got there.
His feet were moving so fast, dude. It was crazy. I can't wait.
We have for the final question of the rookie round. I don't think we're gonna get through all these rounds, but the rookie round's final question is: what rookie quarterback will have the highest interceptions at the end of the season?
We don't even have to do we even have to do this round? It's Joe Burrow. There's no other answer because he's the only one throwing passes. I mean, it's just a process of elimination.
What?
I don't think Herbert or Tua are going to throw enough passes, even if they do poorly.
I agree.
I think Burrow. I'm just saying Burrow is going to have such a.
You guys think Ryan Fitzpatrick starts?
Yes, I think that Burrow will have such a volume lead over both of them, no matter what happens, that he'll throw more interceptions by default.
I don't think Tua starts. I think Fitz starts, goes 2-2, or some similar deal like how he did in Tampa Bay. He'll start the first 4 games. He'll play good enough to not, be pulled within 3 games, but by the 4th game, they'll be like, okay, now we need to get to it. And
I think you both have smoked way too much before the show, because if there is any possibility that Tyrod Taylor or Ryan Fitzpatrick starts over these 2
Anthony
guys,
Lynn loves Tyrod.
I guarantee that Tyrod starts. I guarantee he starts most of the year.
I think so. I think Tyrod starts 8 games.
I don't know. I'll throw a bet down on that.
Slap it.
Over under 8 games.
I mean, 2 and 10. Yeah, over or under. Whoever has the most starts, I guess. Herbert or Tyrod. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua too. If you want to double down on,
what's the real problem with Herbert is that they're going to bring him in and he's going to suck ass, and they're going to put Taylor back in. That's what's going to happen because he sucks. That's a terrible draft pick. It's a terrible draft pick.
So wait. So Nick is saying that Herbert will start. Herbert and Tua will start how many?
More games, so at least 9.
9 games. 9 games.
I think kind of the idea here for the question was Burrow's starting 16 or 17. How many freaking games are there? He's starting all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think all these rookies start all 16. But I do think that he has more pass volume, like you're saying, Matt, just in regards that Cincinnati's defense is so terrible in comparison to the Chargers and the Dolphins, that the Bengals will be playing catch up a lot more than your Dolphins and Chargers. So even though I think all three rookies will play all 16 games, I do agree that Joe Burrow is going to have the most interceptions because of the volume that he's going to have. Not the games, though. Not what Matt is saying. I agree, but not the same reasoning.
I'm going to award 0 points in this round. Just because I can.
Oh, 0 points.
What did every day man say?
what are we doing here? We're wasting time.
0 points.
Agreed. I think it's going to be Burrow. I'm not confident that Herbert or Tua plays 16 games. I think they're going to play around 12 to 14 ish in that range.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that too. I think they're gonna try to start the veterans just a little bit before they figure out that they are terrible.
I really don't think Tua even plays half of this season because they're good. They're good. Like the coach did such a good job last year. They're on such a good trajectory. They're building something good there. Tua's just coming off of this injury. You got a capable guy in there that can kind of teach Tua something. Why would you force him in there with still a kind of an inferior offensive line? They're still building it. I think that they're going to try to take their time with him. I think they will because they're not going to win this year. I think it's a mistake to force him in. It's just a mistake.
But sometimes learn by doing is super helpful too. This whole scenario of learn by sitting or learn by playing. I feel like it can go. It's a little bit up to the guy, like the quarterback. What you learn from sitting. Is Mahomes if he doesn't sit the first year?
And also, I will say one other thing about Justin Herbert. If Tyrod can hold off Baker Mayfield for a couple games, he'll definitely be able to hold off Justin Herbert for a few games.
And Baker only got in because I believe Taylor got
injury.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Different coaches. Obviously, Hugh
And
Jackson.
Anthony Lynn loves Tyrod, though.
Hugh Jackson was the dumbest coach.
That is true.
Plus, I'm of the opinion Taylor's going to play well.
You guys are well. I mean, if he plays, I'm not saying that he won't play well because playing well for Tyrod Taylor is just throwing about 140 yards and making sure you don't throw a single interception. And you did good if you're Tyrod Taylor. Well done. But the fact of the matter is,
what did he do to you? We'll find out one of these days. What
are
he did
you
to you.
saying that the Dolphins in a division that is filled with the shitty ass Patriots, the shitty ass Jets, and the mediocre and always will be mediocre Buffalo Bills? That the Dolphins don't think they're in win now opportunity. They didn't go draft this quarterback to sit him behind Ryan Fitzpatrick and lose 10 games this year so they can get another top 10 draft pick.
They are going to lose 10 games this year. Guarantee they're losing at least 10 games this year.
That's crazy. I have so much more faith in the Dolphins than any other team in this division except for the
I think they're coached so well.
Oh, they're great. They overachieved last year, though, so I don't think you can add to their win total like you naturally would. They overachieved at the end, but they were trying to punt two away intentionally. But
they were a little unlucky too with injuries and not realizing that you should not have started Josh Rosen.
I like them. I think they're on a good path. I think this year's not the year. I just think it's with him coming off that kind of serious injury. I don't know. I think just be smart about it.
I think they have 6 to 7 wins in them. And I think that's good for them.
I think that would be the goal, right? I think they'd be happy with that. But I think 6 is the number that that's their cap.
I think everyone's thinking way too low on them right now. Dolphins.
Hey, I hope you're right. I would love to root for them. I really would. I'm looking forward to rooting for them.
Byron Jones is a great guy. I love that the Cowboys drafted him. He's been a great Cowboy, but he can't intercept the ball to save his life. He's a good cover cornerback.
You don't need someone who's going to try to go be a ball hawk and get 6 interceptions. Get me past deflections.
You say that, but you haven't been a Cowboys fan for the last 8 years. It's not been a turnover
I've been
ever.
a Lions fan for the last 30 years. I think I know a lot about what's going on. I'm just saying. The Dolphins don't have the best offensive line, but their defense is phenomenal. Their defense is now on paper a very, very solid defense. They are coached very well. And a lot of people have sat here and downplayed how good Tua is. and we don't know. But my feeling that has been since this end of season, if Tua's healthy, the whole college is changed. Joe's not one. Tua's number one. Tua is the best quarterback. And due to injury and due to media, he got dropped down to 5. I'm saying everyone has been sitting on him or just giving him no love for the last 4 months, and it's going to continue. But I'm telling you, boys, Tua's going to start week 1, and he is a game changer. He is a game changer. There's a reason why he should have went 3. But Miami.
This is a little entry from the chat here from Travis Sumter, who says Jalen Hurts when Wentz gets injured. We haven't even mentioned him. Wentz always gets injured.
I think if Wentz gets hurt, Hurts is not even the guy who goes in personally. I think they'll have another direction. I think they drafted him to not play. If anything, you want to go wild, I would say Fromm. Josh Allen could definitely get injured doing something insane like he always does, jumping over people, whatever. So, I mean, you want a dark horse to lead the rookies in interceptions? How about Fromm? Because they have literally no other options in Buffalo.
Here's a super, super dark horse. Brian Lewerke takes the spot for the Patriots. Tom Brady 2.0, undrafted guy out of Michigan, not Michigan, the team, but Michigan as a state, and becomes the man. But I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think he's going to get cut. But it would be an awesome story. I'm rooting for him.
It's definitely worth a point for a fun answer.
Ooh,
definitely.
It's worth a point just for saying his name. That's a fun name.
Yeah, and if you would have said Jordan Love, you would have been 5 points short.
But theoretically, if Pat Mahomes does get injured, Shea Patterson is stepping into one of the best offenses in the NFL.
Is Matt Moore gone?
No, I don't even know. I think they have Chad Henne on the team as well. But yeah,
it's funny. It's funny how what's his name? Jacksonville. I can't even think of his freaking name.
Bortles.
Yeah, Minshew. No, but I mean, we're talking about Fromm and stuff. I mean, Eason has a decent chance too. I mean, Phillip Rivers sucks. I mean, he could just be terrible. And I'm just saying, some of these guys could get an opportunity. It's not that I think they're going to get a big opportunity, but freaking all these quarterbacks could have a shot this year, except for Love. He's not coming in. He's coming in year 5.
Are you sure? So you're not saying Jordan Love? You're not saying him, Matt? Are you sure? No. I'm trying to get you to lose points.
What kind of politics? I think I brought this up earlier in the show.
It's now 5-5-5.
Hypocrisy. This is a travesty and a sham and a mockery. It's a Travis sham mockery.
You're a traitor. You're a rebel and a traitor, and take her away. Damn it! I lost that quote instantly. You're part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. That's how it is. In the bust rounds here in the game show, we have the first question. What rookie will be the biggest fantasy bust of 2020? Every day. Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with I hate to say it, but I mean, if this guy stays healthy, Kerryon Johnson, he's gonna make DeAndre Swift a bust. I mean, not necessarily a bust in NFL perspective, but a bust for fantasy perspective. Because if Kerryon Johnson plays 14 games, 16 games, then there's no way DeAndre Swift will have fantasy impact. Yes, Kerryon Johnson is very, very injury prone. He hasn't made it past week 11. I think he played 11 games his first year and then like 8-9 games between the first 7 and the last 2 his second year. And I think Kerryon, I think there's a time where a player, is either just injury prone his entire life. I'd be Darius Geis, or they get around the curve, kind of like a guy like Matt Stafford, or even Frank Gore did, who we thought they were made of glass early on in their season or careers, and then they kind of just showed that it was kind of just freaky stuff, and they did beat it. But Kerryon's had a lot of injuries in his past, so I think it's possible. But I'm going to be rooting for him. I definitely think he can stay healthy. So if he does stay healthy, I'm going to say DeAndre Swift will be a fantasy bust.
I think that's a great answer, and I'm going to give a point for a great answer. Matt, who do you have?
Just
or
for the
do
sake
you want
of
to destroy it? You can
I think we kind of all supported that when we were talking about Swift earlier, but I think just to bring up someone we haven't talked about yet, literally, we haven't even brought his name, but it's Laviska Shenault. Usually bust you'd want to associate with a first-round rookie pick or something. But, for redraft purposes, people could be looking his way. He's touted. He had a core muscle injury in the offseason. He's been banged up in general. But people forget it's kind of really crowded in Jacksonville. Dede still there. DJ Chark still there. Conley, Keelan Cole. It's a pretty crowded room for a rookie, again, who's coming off core surgery, muscle surgery, or not surgery, I'm sorry, injury. He didn't have surgery. But yeah, it's going to be tough for him to crack. So even though maybe long-term he has a spot there, I wouldn't touch him in redraft. I think he could be a 0. I mean, he could slide in there. There's always a possibility of him coming in there. But yeah, in general, I would say for where he's going in drafts, there's plenty of people going behind him that I expect to have decent years in their rookie season, and he's not one of them. I think in year one he's stay far away.
Could not agree more. Nick, who do you have?
Bust. Like, we're talking about fantasy football bust, someone we drafted somewhat high. A lot of these receivers aren't getting drafted that high. Really, it's CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, and Jerry Jeudy. And on Fantasy Football Calculator, those are like the only 3 rookies that are even drafted in the first 13 rounds, I'm pretty sure. 14 rounds. So
there's that spot, it looks like, where like there's right after that, there's like a large contingency of wide receivers that go.
Actually, I was just looking at it right this second because I saw that earlier.
It's like back to back to back to back. A bunch of guys go.
It's not here anymore, though.
Oh, they were going.
It's not in half PPR because I also saw that a couple days ago. It's gone. So I don't know what's happening. If we're gonna put all of them in, Justin Jefferson's gonna be the biggest drop. He's got a shitty ass quarterback throwing to him. Kirk Cousins sucks. Other than that, if you want to stick with the boys, the top ones of the 3, I think CeeDee Lamb has the hardest time getting opportunity. And I think he's talented. I think he's probably the most talented of every wide receiver that has come out this year in the NFL. But it's tough when you got Amari Cooper, Zeke, and Michael Gallup, who's emerging. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll probably take CeeDee Lamb just because I'm not drafting him in the 12th round. Yeah, I probably would draft him. I don't know. It probably won't be a bust. Unless you draft him above the 12th round, he'll bust him.
Hey, if you throw this into Superflex, I would throw Burrow's name in there. Yeah. I think anyone that is going to take a – oh, did I steal your answer? Go ahead.
I feel like that's 5 points right there.
What? Burrow?
5 points for this.
Oh, I thought you meant minefield.
That's the minefield player.
No, it's not.
Burrow is obviously the guy who's gonna bust.
Oh, I thought you took it away for a player that was like obviously. How is he an obvious bust though? Where he goes in one quarterback though.
He's gonna draft Joe Burrow and redraft fantasy.
People are.
That's why I sent it to Superflex. I think he'll be drafted in redraft, but like last round pick. Yeah, I think it's Superflex. I think people could. I don't know.
I agree 100% with Matt. That is not the minefield pick. I think
no, it's not. I had Brandon Ayuk there. He's because I heard people talk about him like a week ago.
He's a pretty good seller position out there in San Fran. Him and Debo, and that's it.
And I see. Yeah, I'll see that as a minefield. Just like don't draft him, and I wouldn't draft Burrow either. I'm with you on that, Matt, completely. I just wanted to scare you.
I don't mind Burrow. What if he comes out?
I think he's good, but
got a lot of weapons. And if Jonah Taylor looks, or what's his name? Not Jonah Taylor.
Jonah Williams.
Thank you. Looks good, and then offensive line looks good. And all of a sudden, Joe Mixon gets going, and that opens up your wide receiver holes. And then
Higgins, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd.
I like to just, this is my time of year to remind people that guys like Peyton Manning, Hall of Famers, most Hall of Famers, really terrible their first year.
All quarterbacks. Kyler Murray last year. Yeah, he was like probably the best one, and he was in, 9th?
Yeah. I will say he could have a lot of garbage time points in which he's just, throwing so much all fourth quarter. He could throw a couple of interceptions, but have only 6-7 points going in the fourth quarter. But, he gets 2 touchdowns when they're getting blown out by 27-28, and he has a solid performance. So we saw guys like, I want to say Deshaun Watson was a little bit like that.
He was fantastic his first year in fantasy for
garbage time.
Blake Bortles, he was the big one.
No, there's definitely a narrative for Burrow to do well. I think we all agree. It's just if anyone's taking him in one quarterback, you're taking him above people that are definitely safer. It's a bad decision. Even if it works out, it's a bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just it seems like quarterbacks are just drafted so high right now too. it makes me very uncomfortable with the quarterback position. I'd rather just sit and wait this year. It's so much late value.
But I am changing my mind on the tight end position. Go get yourself one of the boys. Spend a second or a third round pick on a tight end every draft you do this year, guys. Don't try to sit there and stream. Just don't even get the gray hair. Don't get the headache. Get a tight end, but stream a quarterback for sure.
Tyler Higbee, late round.
Now Gerald Everett's going to take over for him. They just signed him to an extension. Higbee only did good when there was multiple injuries to that team. If everyone's healthy.
2 guys are gone. Brandon Cooks and Todd Gurley.
I think Mark Andrews is actually going to be like a steal of the draft, even though he'll go high.
That's what I'm saying.
He's still not in the Kelsey and Kittle area, but he
he's
freaking should be, especially now that this competition was traded to Atlanta.
No more Hayden. Yeah, I was about to say
in the mock draft I'm doing with Carl, I got him in the 3rd round. I'm telling you, get him. Get yourself some Mark Andrews. And by the way, and just so everyone listening, in the draft that I'm doing with Everyday and Matt, or the rookie draft we just did, I both got Jake Fromm and Jalen Hurts. So
I traded the 102 straight up for George Kittle.
I traded the 107.
Tight end premium.
Or 109.
I traded Melvin Gordon and Dallas Goedert for CD
and
Lamb.
the 3rd round next year.
And the 3rd round.
For CD Lamb. I like it because then you went with Jerry Jeudy right after. That's pretty good. Stack your team. 2 wide receivers. Very good.
And Antonio Brown comes back, it's game over, man.
I couldn't turn down Melvin Gordon and Dallas Goedert, though.
You know what's funny? I needed a running back, and I passed on Jonathan Taylor. I ended up getting Vaughn and
this is a good pick.
who the hell else did I take? Oh, Buffalo.
Moss.
I wasn't too excited, but I really needed a running back. So rather than take Peoples Jones, who was the next wide receiver, I just decided to go there because I didn't want a tight end. I have George Kittle and I have Hunter Henry. Who the hell? I don't need another tight end.
But Nick, who did you take in the 9th round in our mock draft? Oh, Jerry Jeudy, because I took Henry Ruggs.
No, I didn't take Jerry Jeudy. I took Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
How many interceptions does David Carr? How many interceptions does Derek Carr throw under throwing Henry Ruggs this year? That's the question. He can't quite get it. Remember that commercial with that guy who was fishing the old man with the dollar?
Farm,
You almost had it. You almost got it.
I think that
Ruggs is going to be like, why am I here?
I think that narrative is so.
Cam Newton, get him in there. Cam, send him.
I think the narrative that Derek Carr is terrible is so wrong.
Me too. Actually, if you look at all my posts, I was really, when they got Antonio Brown, I was all over him last year. I think the ADOT thing is really blown out of proportion. He never really had the talent, and he almost got him to the Super Bowl. I actually am with you. But Mariota's going to be starting.
No, Mariota. I'm sorry,
Mariota. He's making so much money. That is ridiculous.
Needs to be out of the league. I'm sorry. He's my least favorite quarterback. How much is he making, and how much is Winston making? Can we just do that for laughs right now?
I'm guessing here, and I think Mariota
can make up to I think like 11 million.
Who?
Mariota.
Yeah, and then where's Winston?
Jameis is 3 million guaranteed, and he can make up to 4.1. Fire
your agent! Oh my god.
He just wanted to learn. That's all he said. He said, "I don't care. I just want to learn behind Breeze."
I hope that'd be great.
Mariota is the 7th best paid player for the Las Vegas Raiders. 7th best paid player. Think about that. Does that say
Wildcat? Let's go.
Does that say more about the quarterback position or more about how terrible the Raiders are with top level talent?
Mariota's gonna. If you were talking about someone who's gonna Bledsoe Brady this Super Bowl win, it's gonna be Mariota. Carr's gonna get him there. He's gonna get injured. Mariota's gonna sneak in there, Brady Bledsoe style, and go ahead and take the W.
I believe that when we were. Go ahead.
It's gonna be Foles Wentz. That's the new narrative. It's the Foles Wentz takeover.
Yeah, the unfortunate.
Foles, that statue of him and overpaid going to Jacksonville he's a. But it's the same. I want to tie that back actually to a point we made earlier. Damien Williams and his playoff run. It doesn't last. You can get hot, but it doesn't last. Long-term consistency. Come on, people. Come on. Long-term consistency is the key.
I don't know what he's doing, but it's funny.
CH.
CEH. CEH, dude.
We're
Go
doing
get Clyde Edwards.
hand signals. Yeah.
We unfortunately don't
bird.
have any more time to go through, so I'm just gonna have you finish out with what quarterback will be the biggest fantasy bust of 2020. Nick,
What was the question?
biggest fantasy quarterback bust of 2020.
I don't even know who's top quarterbacks right now. They're all going to be pretty bad.
Lamar, Mahomes, Watson, Wilson, Murray, Rodgers, Dak, Allen, Wentz, Ryan, Mayfield, Cousins,
Thanks.
Winston.
It'll be Deshaun Watson, biggest bust.
Oh, Matt,
Skip me.
skip you every day.
I'm going to go Jarrett Stidham because the Patriots didn't do anything and they're going to throw him into the Wolves and he's going to get butchered the first 4 games and be out of there.
Is he a bust? Is he a bust though? If
Nobody's
no one's
drafting him,
Okay.
I'll go Josh Allen. Josh Allen.
Okay. Kirk Cousins. I think people are still going to draft him. Not super high, but I just don't think they're going to be a pass-heavy team at all like they once were. I really think they're going to turn into a little bit more run-heavy with Dalvin Cook.
Good
That's
call.
why you draft Alexander Madison in the late rounds.
But no, yeah, I will go Josh Allen. He gave us a preview of just how in his own head he can get in the playoffs. And he's really not a very good quarterback. I mean, he has a lot of tools with his legs. The fact that they did draft another quarterback that is complete opposite of him kind of almost shows you, all right, if we need to change gears here, be run heavy and just have a game manager, maybe that's what they're setting up. So Josh Allen's going to go really, really high in fantasy where you can afford to draft a guy like Matthew Stafford way, way later. So he doesn't even have to be a complete bust, but I think at ADP, Josh Allen stands to, be a reasonable disappointment.
Yeah, I got fun fact. I got Aaron Rodgers in the 11th the other day.
Yeah, I think people forget that even though he has they didn't add a wide receiver, that this guy's going to have Devontae Adams for a whole season, which he was gone for half of it last year. And he still, they love to throw. How many touchdowns did he get from throwing to running backs last year? That's kind of still going to continue too. So yeah, Aaron where he was getting drafted, he did. And they're going to try to, now that they have 3 running backs, they're still going to try to do that. So, and they're going to try to use their tight ends more, fullback. So I don't if Aaron was getting drafted where he was, I wouldn't agree. But yeah, if you're getting him where you said, he stands to be maybe a decent value this year.
Yeah, that at that point there's just so much value. Before we sign off for today, just plug your podcast and your shows again every day. FFB. I want people to remember that you have a fantastic guest as well coming up.
Yeah, for sure. So tomorrow I'm actually hosting the Fantasy Brawl podcast. You guys can just find us Fantasy Brawl on Twitter, and we're doing our episode tomorrow with Jason Moore of the Fantasy Footballers. So that episode should be up late Thursday or Friday morning / early evening. You guys will definitely want to check that out. You can also check me out on Twitter, EverydayFFB, and check out mine and Nick's Lions Brawl account. If you're a Lions fan, Detroit fan, check them out too. Or if you're just a Matt Stafford fan, go check them out too. But that's all I got, man. Thank you so much for having me on again. If you guys want to do a 3-peat, I'm always open to it.
You're always welcome on the show. A fantastic guest. Love having you on. And if you want to catch more of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole, you can go to anchor.com and find us on Anchor, where you will get a link to everywhere where you find podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you want. You can find the Fantasy Rabbit Hole. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, there's a new episode that you can catch live on Periscope and YouTube. And that's what we do. You check out csdfantasy.com for more fantasy content and the YouTube channel here for even more with David Johnson and the Houston Texans video coming up later this week. Nick and Matt, what do you all have planned for content coming up?
My Twitter feed. Follow it. Content all the time.
Yeah, that's quite literally all I have planned in the immediate future. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. My handle is right there-ish. Boom.
Love it. We're just.
By the way, in the chat, Jared Goff, I actually love him this year. I think he's going to be a tremendous value.
And with that, signing off for the Fantasy Rabbit Hole is Mr. Stark, Nick Faber, Matt Williams, Man of the People, and CSD Fantasy. Thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you again next week.